Hello everybody, it's Dana Sullivan, the Stampin' Chick, here with another Make It Monday. How are you today, my friends? I hope you had a fabulous weekend. It is the 12th of April and it is also my little girl's birthday. Now I say little girl, but she's 17 today, so she's really not a little girl anymore, but she's my little girl, so you know how it is. Well, anyway, I have a fantastic little project to share with you today. Hi, Miss Cindy. How are you, darling? And this project is related to another project that I shared with you not too long ago. I had made this birthday card, and I had posted it on my blog, and I'm pretty sure it was a Make It Monday project. And this is the card that I made for Hannah's birthday. So I gave her the card today, and then I also made a coordinating gift box. Now I'm not going to open the gift box up and share what it is because she hasn't seen this yet. So this morning her daddy and I woke her up and gave her a card, and he had brought her roses and a cookie cake with just a little icing trim and her name and happy birthday, because she doesn't really like icing too much, but she loves those cookie cakes. So so he did a good job getting the cookie cake just right. But she hasn't seen this yet. We're going to dinner tonight for her birthday, and we're going to give it to her then. So anyway, oh, Miss Elaine, hello. Oh, you have a granddaughter named Hannah. That's so sweet. That's one of my favorite names. So anyway, I wanted to show you this project, and it kind of relates to projects that I've shown you in the past with regard to these boxes. Now, I've done videos before where I've shown you how to make a box for literally any kind of gift item you might need a box for. And when I post this video on YouTube, I will put a link down in the description box for it, so that way you'll be able to find that. But today I'm just going to give you exact measurements for this exact box, and you can see it's a pretty decent sized little gift box. And so we'll get started on this, okay? Now the fun thing about this project is that all the stuff that I'm using is carrying over to the brand new 2021 annual catalog, so yay for that. So I'm using the Butterfly Brilliance bundle. As you can see here, I've got the butterflies die cut out of that beautiful rainbow glimmer paper that I absolutely love. You can see I've been playing a lot. I use a lot of this paper, and it's carrying over, and I'm so excited about that. So we're going to use some of the glimmer paper, and we're using the Butterfly Brilliance or the Brilliant Wings dies from this bundle. We're also going to be using the Mini Messages bundle. Now this one is carrying over as well, but I don't think it'll be a bundle anymore. So if you are interested in this one, you're going to want to get it now so you can get that extra 10% off because it's carrying over, and there's going to be a new stamp set that coordinates with it. Now that's all I'm telling you, but the sentiments are going to be fabulous just like these are, and you're definitely going to want to have both of them. So get this one now, get the stamp set that coordinates when the catalog goes live next month. That's a great plan. And then I'm also using the Brick and Mortar 3D embossing folder. This is probably my favorite of the embossing folders, and thankfully it is carrying over too, because one of my favorite embossing folders, the Subtle 3D embossing folder, is not carrying over, and I'm super sad about that. So I'm glad that this one is. Alright, and then another thing that's carrying over that we're going to use because I love it is not necessarily Dana approved glitter. However, it's super pretty and it doesn't shed too bad, so it's okay. This is the glittered organdy ribbon, the black glittered organdy ribbon, and it's just beautiful, but it does shed a little bit, so just so that you know. Okay, so let's get started. Hey, Miss Sharon. Oh, Miss Elaine, your Hannah's birthday is this Friday. Oh, was Friday. Oh, they're just a couple days apart. Oh, she was 14. Oh, that's so sweet. Our Hannah is 17 today, and I swear it's 17 going on 30. You know, it's crazy. They grow up so stinking fast. All right, I have 2 pieces of gray granite cardstock here, and I actually took it from one sheet of cardstock, and on the short side I cut it at 5 7/8, and then turned it, and on the long side I cut it at 5 1/8, and then cut another piece at 5 1/8. So these are 5 7/8 by 5 1/8, and you need 2 pieces. And then you'll see that I already embossed this one with the brick and mortar embossing folder, so I didn't want to fuss with bringing the die cut machine back and forth. Alright, now I'm going to use my Simply Scored board. Let me grab my stylus tool here. Okay. And now we're going to start with the plain solid piece here, and we're going to score on all 4 sides at 1 1/4 of an inch. So we're going to go 1 1/4, turn it, 1 1/4, turn, 1 1/4, turn, and 1 1/4. Alright, so we've got 1 1/4 all the way around. And then with this piece, because it's going to be the lid, I'm bringing in this little shim that I've made that's going to just offset just the slightest little bit so that the box lid and the base fit perfectly. Now, I got this idea from fabulous Connie Stewart, and I have shown that in the original box making video that I shared with you. But I'll put a link to it down below as well so that you can see how to make one of these for yourself. It's super handy, absolutely brilliant, and it does an amazing job, okay? The only thing I will stress is that, you know, sometimes a person may score from this side because it's easier than scoring over here in the corner. Do not do that when you're using this shim, because you will not get the right measurements. Ask me how I know. So make sure you're always scoring over here. Alright, so we're scoring at 1 1/4 inch, just like we did with the other layer, but because we have this shim in here, it's gonna bring it in just the thickness of that cardstock. So it's a really handy tool, and you'll see how it works out here in just a second. Alright, so we're going to do this on 1 1/4 inches on all 4 sides. I think we've got it. Let me redo that one again because it looks pretty thin. There we go. Alright, so 1 1/4 inches on all 4 sides. And then let me get that out of the way and get rid of the scoreboard because we don't need it anymore. Alright, now I have my 2 pieces, and they're both scored at 1 1/4 inches on all 4 sides. I'm going to bring in my bone folder and just burnish those edges really good, because when you're making a box, you really want to have nice, crisp edges to make it look good. Okay, so there we go. Now with this one, we're going to be a little careful because we're not trying to flatten our embossing here, so we're just going to use the tip of the bone folder, and we're going to just go right along the edge, as close to the edge as we can get, to still get that crisp line but not flatten our embossing, right? So it's going to take us just a second more. There we go. And this side, here we go. And then the last one. And now this is just a standard box. So like I've said, I have that video that I'll put the link down in the description on YouTube. Now it won't be here. You'll have to go check it out on YouTube tomorrow. You know, I should have this uploaded tonight after we get home. So anyway, just check it out there and you'll see the link that shows how to do the measurements for the box and everything. It's a pretty standard measurement that you can do. Alright, so now what I like to do when I'm making my tabs, because I want each of these 4 squares to be a tab, and they're going to fold over, and this is what helps secure the sides of the box. I always like to cut on the longest side, because that way it gives more support to the long side, if that makes sense. And if it doesn't, it will here in just a second. So I'm just going to cut those and then miter the little squares just a little bit. And there's no exact science here. You just want to trim a little of that bulk out so that it lines up good when we put it together. Okay, so we're going to cut along the edge here. Now when I need to cut a little better because I cut a little wonky there. There we go. No, I still missed it. Here we go. Hold on. Try it again. 3rd time's a charm. There we go. Alright. Now we're going to cut that little section out. And this little section out. There we go. And then a tiny little bit there. And we're going to do the exact same thing on the lid. So on the longer side, we're going to cut a little section just like that. You'll feel the paper feels softer after you've embossed it. It breaks down the fibers a little bit, so it's a little bit softer, but it's not going to matter because Stampin' Up's cardstock is really nice cardstock and it holds up very well. Here we go. And this one. Now I knew that the Butterfly Brilliance bundle was going to be in the new catalog, but I just got the paper copy of the catalog a couple of days ago, and I know we've had the PDF version for, oh gosh, a week or so, but it's hard to read it. It's hard to look at it on the PDF. I want to see it in person, in my hands, flipping my fingers through it, being able to do this, you know? So I hadn't really noticed too much. I noticed a few of my favorites were going away, like the Stitched Shapes dies. Those are the most devastating, saddest, most unfortunate, horrible, blah blah blah, etc, 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 awful retirement item. I hate that it's going away. It is a staple item in my studio, and honestly, I have absolutely no idea what I'm going to do in place of those shapes when they're retired. So if you don't have those already, I highly suggest you get over and get those ordered really quick, because once they're gone, and that'll be a sad day. We'll all cry. We can cry together. Alright, all I'm doing here is just applying a bit of liquid glue to the tabs. And I'm going ahead to do them all at once, because I find that if the glue sits for just a hot second, it tacks faster, it attaches faster. And now if you're a slow crafter, and that's totally fine, you maybe don't want to do that, but you know, I've had a bit of practice with it, so it's okay to go ahead and put the adhesive on all the corners, and it's not going to dry up on me. But I like to let it sit for just a second so it's a bit tacky and not quite so liquid, and it doesn't spread as much, so I don't get glue everywhere. Now that's just me and my thing. You can do it however you want, of course, but just my thing. Alright, so here we go. We're just gluing down the 4 corners, and the thing I want you to remember about this is not to pull your corners too tight. You want them to be lined up with the edges of the cardstock. So, you know, don't over tuck them. When I say that, I mean like don't go in past this edge. Make sure that your edges line up, you know, just right. So you don't want them to be out, you know, you don't want it to be not far enough, but you don't want it to be too far either. So just right there, edge to edge, is exactly what you're looking for. And that will make sure that your boxes always go together. You know, it's an amazing thing, but the tiniest microscopic little extra line is literally the difference between a box fitting and a box not fitting. And I'm telling you, that is a fact. And it's the craziest thing. You wouldn't think that a fine hair's length like that would make all the difference, but my goodness, it does. So, just line it up with the edges and you'll always be good. Okay? Alright, so now I'm going to test this out just to be sure that it fits, because you know, sometimes even when we're trying hard, sometimes it doesn't. But in this case, you can tell it fits perfectly. So now we have this box that is perfectly fitted, and this is where that shim comes into place, because you know, sometimes the lid can be a little bit too tight where it bows the side in, and sometimes even when we score it right and we think we've got it burnished right, sometimes it's a little too big and it's loose and it falls off. So when you do it this way, you get a really good perfect fit that doesn't bow, doesn't buckle, and doesn't slide off too easy. Okay? Alright, so let me go ahead and put this back together here. And let's decorate it, shall we? We're going to use some of this organdy ribbon. I'm just going to tie a little bit around the bottom here. And like I said, this is not totally Dana approved glitter. However, it's Dana acceptable glitter. It's pretty and it's not too bad. The glitters are big, so they don't stick to every stitch of your body like regular glitter does. So that's why it's okay. Alright, so we'll just give it a little tweak, but I want to make sure it's not too tight. And you can see what I mean there. Maybe you can. There's a couple little stray sparkles, and I can just tap that into my waistband and give it a little flick, and then we're good to go. So we'll do that, and then just trim a tiny bit off here. There we go. Alright. And now we're going to bring in some of the, oh my goodness, the mini messages stuff. Now, I have a few things already pre-cut, and I like to put them in this little half wood mount box. I love the idea of doing one sheet all at the same time, and I didn't think that I would. When I first saw it and realized it was one stamp and one die, I thought, that's it, I don't like it. I don't want to stamp it all at once. I don't want all these sentiments laying around, and I don't want to waste all this paper for one little project. But you know, that was me pre having it in hand. So now I have this little box, and I have a couple of little boxes, and they've got various colors in them, and they're already pre-done, and I can just pull some things, and I could make a ton of cards with this little box if I set my mind to it. So let me see here. We're gonna just basically copy what we've done here, but in a different, like maybe we'll change up the colors or something. So we'll do, let's say that one. And I've got a few different butterflies that we can choose from out of that gold or that rainbow glimmer paper. So let's do, how about not the hooray, we've already done that one. Here's a happy birthday. Let's do this one. And let's do, yeah, that'll work. Okay, so now I'm going to change that out then because I don't want to do the same color. And let's do this here. Okay, there we go. Let me set these out of the way. Okay, so I'm not going to be totally different, but it'll be a different sentiment. Now, one thing that I absolutely love about some of these mini messages die cut pieces is that some of them have the stitching, and when you cut the stitching, you can make a perfectly layered mat. And what I mean by that is this one right here is a prime example. So you see the pink border, how it's got the little banner edges and it's got a trim around it. This white piece was that exact same shape. And I just cut right along the inside edge of the stitching on the white piece, and that way it made a perfect mat to layer on the pink piece. So you see that? And I've done basically the same thing with this one. Now this shape is a little different than this one, but I just cut around the stitching and it made enough room for a perfect layer all the way around. So now with this one, it looks like it's already got a pretty decent layer on either side. So I'm thinking if I cut the ends, it's going to give me a nice border all the way around. So let's see. We're just cutting along the edges of the stitching, so that way we've got a relatively straight cut. Okay, and then let's see here. Yes, look at that. Fabulous. All right, now I'm going to add some dimensionals to this because we love dimensionals, right? All right, so let's do one there. One there. Okay. Is that straight? Well, not quite. Hold on. It's a little hard to see when you're trying to stay out of the camera sight. There we go. That's pretty good. All right. And then I want to just eyeball about there. Okay, I'll save that little piece for something else later. Bring in my liquid glue. I like using liquid glue when I've used the 3D embossing folders because there's so much space in between the embossed areas that sometimes that adhesive runner just doesn't get enough good contact, but the liquid glue really does. So let's go ahead and put that right there. Alright, and then more dimensionals on the back of the pink piece. I ran out of the big ones, so I'm just going to use some little ones. I didn't really run out, but they're in a basket behind me, and I'd have to stop talking, and because I can't talk and look at the same time. In fact, I can't do too much of anything and talk at the same time, so you know this about me if you've watched me for a while, because occasionally I just stop mid-sentence or pause for a second, and it's not that I'm Captain Kirk or anything, it's just that I've lost what I was thinking because I was busy thinking about what I was doing. Alright, so here we go. We'll put this one on right there. And you know what, actually, let me see if I can lift it off here. I want to put it a little closer to the edge because I want to make more room for the bigger butterfly if I want to do that one. So let me just, there we go. That is super cute. Isn't that cute? Okay, now I'm gonna need your help, right, Captain Kirk? I mean, it's true. You're like, and then there was this thing. But I don't mean to do it. I don't mean to do it. It's just that I can't walk and chew gum at the same time. All right, I'm thinking that maybe, should we do just one? I don't want to put a butterfly underneath the ribbon because I want people to be able to just slide the ribbon off instead of tie and untie, because like I said, that glitter will kind of flake, and you know, it's better if they can just slide it. So I don't know. How do you feel about just doing the one bigger butterfly instead of the two little ones? Or do you like the two little ones better? What do you say? So there's the bigger one. And then the little ones might look... Let's put the big one up here this time. Might look something like that. What do you think? Big, little? What do you think? Both ways are cute, I know. Let's go ahead and do the big one, shall we? Since I've got the little ones here on this one. I'm gonna use just this little strip of dimensionals. And this has actually come from, let me grab it. This has actually come from the edge of my dimensional sheet. So once I've used up my dimensionals, and even if I haven't, but I need these little pieces, I will just cut a strip off of the edge and then trim off some pieces like this. So that way I can get a good skinny size. So... oh, I saw a little in there, but I'm seeing a few big. Okay, good. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and do the big one, just because I did the little ones on the other one. So we'll have two different ones here. All right, so now I want to put some of these little dimensional pieces right in the center of the butterfly's body. So I'm not going to attach the wings. I'm going to let them free float, and that way they look kind of realistic, you know, like butterflies. Here we go. I'm trying not to sneeze, y'all, but the flowers are in bloom and allergy season is upon us, so I hope that you will give me some grace if I happen to sneeze. Hopefully not too loud. Alright, here we go. Hopefully I can just hold it off. I'm trying, but it's starting to get the better of me. Okay, here we go. We'll just do that. Alright, isn't that pretty? I love it. Okay, now you know what else would be very pretty, because I love bling and bling is great. Let's put just a little bit of bling on here, shall we? Just a little. Just a little to dress it up. Just a little bit. There we go. Ooh, that's pretty, isn't it? Oh. Hi, Miss Joe. Thank you. Thank you for blessing me in advance. All right. So there you have it, friends. You've got this absolutely adorable little gift box. And you know what would be great to go in this box? Let me just show you what I found. I think I found them at Cracker Barrel. I love the Brock's Royals. So let's see how many will fit in the box, shall we? All right, here we go. Take this off. Put a few in here. Yeah, the bling really does look good, doesn't it? All right. Oh, you can put a bunch of these things in there. Ooh, yes. My absolute favorite candies ever. Oh, I love them. They remind me of my great-grandparents' hometown. They had a little nickel and dime grocery store in the big Brock's station. I don't know if you guys remember that, but the Pick-a-Mix candies, you could get a couple of pieces of candy for a nickel. I think I could get 3 of the Royals for a nickel, and I thought that was the best deal ever. Alright, there we go. Now it's got candy, and it's dressed up beautifully. There we go. Alright. Well, what do you think, guys? Do you like it? Is it good? Let me just close this up so I don't steal any out of it. Okay. Well, before I let you go, friends, I want to remind you about the upcoming Playful Pets project class that I have coming up. Registration ends in just a few days, and the event is being held on Thursday, April 29th at 5 p.m. If you're local to me, you can get together with me and we'll do our class in person, and if you're not local, that's great. You can join us on Zoom, and you're going to be making all 5 of these fabulous projects. There's an absolutely adorable gift box. It uses a similar technique to what we did today. There's a fun pop-up gift card holder. Super cute. Another traditional type card. A fun little treat bag tag, and a treat dispenser, which is just the cutest thing ever. And then on top of it, you're also getting the double ribbon trim combo pack. You're getting the package of Playful Pets trinkets, and you're getting a 6x12 pack of the Designer Series paper. So you're going to have a bit of supplies left over that you'll be able to create other fun and fabulous pet-related projects with. And you'll get all 5 of the project kits and the PDF tutorial, as well as being able to do it in person or via online craft and chat together. So if you're interested in participating in this class, you can go to my events tab right here on my Facebook page, and if you're watching the replay on YouTube, which you're not yet because you're seeing the bright red live button there, if you're watching the replay on YouTube, you can go to the Stampin' Chick Dana Sullivan on Facebook and look under the events tab, and you can find it there. So the cost of the class is $35, and that includes all of the materials and the project kits. And if you're not local to me, I will put everything into a flat rate padded envelope for $8.50 shipping. So if you're interested, let me know. Go to the events tab, find the Playful Pets project class, and sign up, and I will look forward to seeing you then. And until next time, my friends, I hope you have a wonderful week. Bye for now.